see. Taman. How's Taman?
Yeah, so he hadn't practiced till today. We had him in on some of our non-contact and shooting things today. Our trainer will evaluate him this afternoon, just see how things felt for him. And like I said, I mean sincerely, like the day-to-day is we want to make sure we're doing what's best for him and his health and his well-being. So I want to make sure that if he's to play tomorrow, that he feels up to it totally, not that we're just looking at it as how important he is to our team. So he hasn't done anything contact-wise yet, so we'll see. I'm hopeful that he can play tomorrow, but we'll have to see how that goes the rest of the day today and tomorrow.
With 2 home games this week, kind of sort of the back-to-back thing, and with the next week off, I guess it would be, do you try to play him as much as he can this week? Because considering the home game, and you got to, with the way the Big 12 is, you've got to protect home court. Play him at home, and then with next week off, rest, and then roll the dice on the road when you go to Texas the following week.
Yeah, that's a very involved question. I'd just say, like, I'm not smart enough to figure any of that out. I know this: if Taman can play and it's in his best interest to play, that it's best for our team to play him, and if he's not, then we want to do what's best for him. So I don't. Again, we're looking at it as this is one game tomorrow night, and we have to do whatever we can to give ourselves the best chance to win. And if Taman's healthy, we'll go with them. And if not, I think, if anything's was shown on Saturday is the depth and the character and for the other guys. So we got to do what's best for him, regardless of what's coming at us. But right now, all of our focus is on the opportunity that we have tomorrow night.
What is the hurdle for him to clear? Is it pain tolerance, range of motion, both of those, something else?
Yeah, no, I'd say both of those. I mean, it's both. It's the pain tolerance, it's the range of motion, and it's just, him feeling up for it too. I mean, he's an elite competitor, and I don't want him to be out there feeling like he can't be at his best. So he deserves the right to feel at his best to be out there. So if he is, he'll go, and if he's not, then we'll continue to evaluate as we move forward.
The steals number jumped off the stat sheet for both for your team, but also for Kurt. But how would you talk about what he meant as a ball handler at TCU, just in terms of helping to set up other guys and, combined with the really good defense that he played?
Yeah, certainly, defense sets the tone in our program for everything, and I think his ability to pressure the basketball, anticipate, and passing lanes was really good. And a lot of his steals he was in the right position, and the ball kind of found him. So that was great. And then he's continued to develop that confidence, with the basketball. We utilize him sometimes at the point guard position. He's a guy that has been historically a high assist, low turnover guy. He wants to make the right plays for his teammates. So great to see him on the road. Have that resiliency and ability to find his teammates, get guys shots, make plays, make shots. I think it was his best game as a Cyclone, just kind of seeing all of his game on display, which proud of him for that.
Coach, what does Saturday's win do for you guys, seeing how many people stepped up and contributed when, your star guy is out, and to force that many turnovers? What does that game and performance really mean for you guys going forward?
Well, hopefully, guys develop confidence from the games that they played. I mean, we had 3 or 4 guys that probably played their best game as a Cyclone to date, and that's a great sign for our program, a great sign because I think, with Taman out, they really wanted to uphold that standard. You heard guys talking about, I want to make the energy play that Taman makes, get the rebound he makes, the loose ball, first to the floor, all those things. So I don't necessarily know what it means moving forward. I know it means that we're 3-2 in league play as opposed to 2-3, and I know that every game in this league is really challenging. So you got to take them one game at a time and know that over and over I'll say that handling success and handling failure or handling adversity are what's really important in this league, because every night out it's a hard fought game, whether it's home or road.
Did that enhance your message to the guys with 2 home opportunities against 2 kind of rivals in the conference come up this week?
Yeah, for us, all we do is just focus on the next game, no matter what. So, everything is focused on the opportunity in front of us tomorrow night. We play a team at the top of the standings, team that's coming off an Elite 8 season. We have tremendous respect for their program, and it's important that our guys look at it as it's a one-game season. There's one opportunity in front of us, and all that matters is that we're at our best tomorrow night.
Keyshawn Gilbert, I think, had 12 points in the second half of the loss at BYU, and then he goes for 20 on Saturday. Are you kind of seeing him kind of come along from an offensive perspective with confidence?
I think, you get into the league and it's hard to really prepare yourself for what that's going to be like, the physical defense, the intensity, the integrity that teams have to sprint back. And everybody wants to talk about playing fast and in transition, and certainly the way you do that is turn people over. If you don't do that, you're playing against a set defense. So I do think with Keyshawn, he's a bright young man. He's continuing to learn. He's continuing to develop. He works extremely hard. He's a competitor, and definitely hope that that confidence continues to grow because he's worked really hard to earn it.
His hop step in transition, is that something that you guys have kind of helped teach him a little bit when he's throwing lobs, just to kind of get the defense off balance?
Yeah, I think that's something innate that he has. He's a great teammate. He wants to make those plays, whether it's for Demarion, Hassan, TK, whoever it is running the floor. So I think that's something innate that as a point guard, as a playmaker, that he loves getting that assist and making that big play for his teammates, and he's always done that.
TJ, I know that you thought, as everybody did, thought highly of the Big 12 at the beginning of the season. Now that you're 5 games into it, whatever, what do you think of it now? I mean, could it even exceed your expectations?
Yeah, it probably has. When you look at the 4 teams that have been added, and you see the success that they've all had, the wins that they've gotten, where they stand in terms of the analytics and that sort of thing, you'd have felt like coming into the year that respecting those programs, you'd think maybe it could be better, but I feel like that's proven to be true. As you've seen all those teams continue to elevate the league and have impactful wins. So I do think the league is, again, even better than it was. And now, it's, you've got more teams and I think even some unique styles of play, because BYU certainly got a unique style of play for this conference. And Houston, what they bring physically, Cincinnati's played great, and you've seen with Central Florida. So I think all 4 have certainly enhanced the league.
Coach, do you believe in Hilton Magic?
I would say that I believe if you prepare for the games, best of your ability, and you focus on what you need to do to be successful, and you put that in play, that we're fortunate to have a fan base that really comes out. And now we have the students back and student section. So to me, what Hilton Magic is a group of guys that works really hard to do the right thing to be successful, and a fan base that's really passionate and cares, and then those two coming together and having success. So I don't know if that answers your question, but I more believe in the daily habits and the focus and the effort, and if those things happen and we call them magic, so be it.
I was going to ask a follow-up.
TJ, circling back to Curtis, a guy who comes from community college, goes to Buffalo. What was it when you were maybe looking at his film and recruiting him that gave you the confidence that he would be a high-level contributor at the major conference level?
Great assist-to-turnover ratio, high level of volume three-point attempts and consistency in making them, defensive rebounding numbers at the guard position, continued development, taking a step every year, similar but different than Jaron Holmes. When we had Jaron, who started with a similar background, guys that have the chip on their shoulder, and you've seen the gradual improvement year after year after year. So, and then again, him being 3+ hours away in Minneapolis, having knowledge of him and him having knowledge of our program. So all those things lined up for us in the case of Kurt Jones, and I feel like he's only going to continue to improve.
TJ, how's Milan adapted his first, whatever you said you are, 3-2, his first 5 Big 12?
Yeah, he's done well. I mean, he's a very confident young man, and we're confident in him. Offensively, he's a tough matchup. Obviously, shoots it the way he does, but he gets to his spots against smaller guys and drives it and gets to those 8 or 12-foot turnarounds, and we want him to continue to be a force cutting. I'd say the area we need to continue to challenge him is on the glass. I think the rebounding and has got to continue to be at the top of the list for him on things that he takes a step forward. Defensively, he's much improved. So been really pleased. I think, every game, especially as a freshman, like it's, you certainly got to take it one game at a time, but his confidence continues to grow, and that's impressive considering how challenging and how difficult the league is. So we'll just continue to lean into his strengths and demand that he rebounds the ball more.
How far has Rob Jones come?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty obvious to everybody that's followed our program to see the strides that he's taken from his first year to where he's at now. He embodies the work habits that our program's about. His character, his toughness. It's like having another coach on the floor. And so he does all those things so well, and then he makes the game go his way because his care factor's high, the effort he gives, the physical play he gives. So, he continues to take positive steps forward, and he's done that since the start of being here. And I think everybody, if anybody at any point wasn't a Rob Jones believer, I think he certainly turned everybody into a Rob Jones believer now.
When you talk about Milan's rebounding, which side of the floor are you emphasizing to him?
Yeah, the defensive side more so. For him, he ends up, in certain things we run, he's spacing on the perimeter, and there's times where, his space might be at 27, 28 feet, which, driver shot goes up and he's moving on penetration, so he's not in great position to go. But I do think there's going to be chances for him to go to the offensive boards, and he needs to do that. And then, on the defensive glass, there's teams that crash the guy at his positions. There's teams that get back with him. And I say he has to have the impact. He's always been a good rebounder, a guy that, as he was coming up, was an 8 or 9 type of rebound a game guy. And there's no reason he can't be a 6 rebounder, better guy when he puts his mind to it.
K-State has obviously a lot of new faces from last year. You talked about them going to the Elite Eight and having success. When you look at some of the new faces, how do you feel like they've kind of helped them sustain some success in the second year?
Well, they brought in, impactful transfers. I mean, a guy like Perry, who had a lot of wins and success at North Texas, and Kaluma, who did the same at Creighton. And so you're bringing in guys that are high-level transfers who have had a lot of success in the places they've been. You bring in a freshman like Day-Day Ames, who is very highly regarded nationally. And then, even like with McNair on the front line, what he's meant to them. So the guys they've brought in have come from winning programs. The guys they've brought in have a history of being successful. And I think as a coach, when you see guys that have won and done things well at previous stops, it gives you confidence they can continue to do it at your place. That's certainly been the case for their program.